Hey guys, what's up? So today's video is actually a Q&A from the people who are in the Spiritual Healing and Expansion Tribe group, where I drop a little meme in there and have them comment their questions. And if you are one of these people, your question is likely answered here. And if you would like a question to be answered, please join the group and comment on that thread. All right, so let's get started. I'm just gonna go through these questions person by person and answer in the best way that I know how. So the very first question, can I please ask a question? Why, if I have had a bad day, I get drawn to low vibrational food, and how do I break this cycle? Okay, well, this is a really good question, and it's really good that you have the awareness of this happening. So give yourself a pat on the back for that, first of all. And so when we get into these low vibrational moods and these states, we tend to look for comfort, right? Because we're reaching for something that's going to make us feel better. And so for you, it might be that what makes you feel better are these comfort foods or these low vibrational foods that are not, living raw foods, if that is what your goal is. And so basically, when we know what the problem is, we know that you're looking for comfort, then what can you do? Ask yourself, what can you do that would bring you comfort besides food? And this is kind of like a habit. This is like a little bit of an addiction. So it's going to take some repetition. It's going to take a little bit of being conscious in the moment and and catching yourself before you go over that into your craving and self-sabotage. So my advice here is to figure out what you could do that it could make you feel comfortable or happy that wouldn't be choosing a food. Okay, so this could be that maybe you go and have a relaxation day. Maybe you go outside. Maybe you go get a massage. Maybe you just have a day where you just take it easy and you relax. What is it for you that's going to allow you to feel comfortable even when you have a bad day? And another thing to think about is that when we're having a bad day and we are reaching for comfort, we might be looking to put what's going on the back burner and not pay attention to what it is that needs addressed. So why are you having this bad day? What is triggering this bad day? And process those emotions and really sit with them and figure out the lesson in that so that you can learn and grow and expand from that. And what you're going to find is that the more that you do this, the less that you will be craving these foods. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. All right, moving on. Next question. I would like to know if you have any advice on how I can lose about 10 pounds when I sit all day at a computer. My work hours at times are 14 hours. 14 hours. Are you getting up and moving from your desk, or are you literally sitting at your desk and not getting up and stretching or getting up and walking a little bit? Because this is not just for losing weight, but for your overall health. To get up and just stretch and move around is going to be super beneficial for you. And you might actually see that you might lose weight by doing this just because you're breaking that pattern of sitting for so long. Okay, let me finish the question. What changes can I make to my diet that will improve my overall health? Well, we got to remember that when somebody is overweight, it's not always just about their diet. I mean, yes, the diet plays a role, but it also has to do with a lot of different things, right? So if you're sitting for 14 hours a day and you're not moving, you've got to figure out how to move your body a little bit. You got to circulate that lymphatic system, and you need to really start to move your body, even if it is for 5 minutes. Every hour you get up for 5 minutes and you stretch and you go walk around. That'll help you a lot. As far as the diet, there's a lot of different things you could do out there, and A raw food diet would definitely help you. It would help detox your body as well. So it'll help get rid of that stored fat in the body. So this would be raw fruits and vegetables. For the most part, smoothies, fruits, berries, and melons. No processed food, no breads and pastas and those types of foods. Those are fungal foods anyways. And I would really focus on the raw food diet, because that is going to help eliminate all that toxicity from your body so that you are able to lose that weight and shed that toxicity that might be being held in the body. When it comes to losing weight, it's also important to remember that, like I said, multifaceted, right? Where it's more than just the diet and it's more than just the exercise. It's also about your emotions. Like, it depends where you're holding this weight. If you're holding weight around your stomach area, that kind of signifies, that might be your solar plexus area a little bit. If you are stressed out a lot, if you're always in fight or flight mode, and you are finding that you're having trouble staying in peace and calm within your mind and your body, then it's going to reflect on your body as showing up as extra weight. Also, if you feel like you have to protect yourself against something, a lot of the times when people hold weight, they feel like they have to protect themselves from the outside world in some way. You might definitely look into that. And I know you asked for just the diet, but if I just give you just the diet, I don't think that we're covering all the bases here. And then self-worth as well. So again, a lot of people hold weight around their abdomen area, and again, their solar plexus. And how do you feel about yourself? Do you have a lot of self-worth? Do you value yourself? Do you stay in alignment with your beliefs and your values? Or are you bending over and letting other people run all over you and, diminish your self-worth and your overall self-esteem? So, I would definitely look into the emotional stuff, and if you can find anything, start to shift that. And then when it comes to, the diet, like I said, I would do the raw food diet so that you can get that detox going on, and so you can eliminate some of that toxicity that's building up in the body in the first place. And make sure that you're getting up and moving around, moving your body every hour, at least for 5 minutes. And do some stretches and that type of thing, and that's also going to show you that you matter. When you get up and you take that 5 minutes for yourself, it's going to show your mind that you value yourself and that you see self-worth in your own self, that you're not going to break yourself to just continue to work back to back to back for 14 hours straight without at least standing and stretching. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, moving on. All right. Susanna. Okay. Something I struggle with is resting. Like really resting. Any tips on quieting the track in one's head and stop shooting all over yourself? What can I do to learn how to rest and feel okay? Well, this is a really, really good question, and it's a highly personalized question as well. So when it comes to rest, we live in a society that does not value rest and relaxation at all. We live in a society that teaches everybody that, we need to always be on the go. There's something that always needs to be done. And if it doesn't get done, something bad's going to happen. There's going to be a consequence if you don't get these things done that you're trying to accomplish. Well, you've got to carve out time for yourself to really rest. And I know it's not an easy thing, but you've got to learn how to put yourself first. So maybe before you go to bed at night, you go and you take yourself a warm bath and you just rest. And if you feel like you can't rest inside of that bathtub, then you need to take some deep breaths and get yourself centered. The more centered and pulling your energy back inside of you, pulling your energy away from all the things that are taking your attention, will help you to bring your energy back to you. And the more that we have our energy in one place and this inside of us, that is when we feel the most rest and to quiet the mind. So a tip that I use to quiet my own mind is that There's actually two different things I do. Sometimes when a thought comes up, I put it in a bubble and I send it out. You could do the same. Or I really like this one. I've been using it not as long, but this one I feel like works better. Is that when something shows up in my mind that I know isn't for my highest of good and it's just trying to take my attention off of the main focus, my purpose, and what I want to create in my life, then what I do is I picture that thought as like a sentence. And what I do is I watch it from the right side all the way left dissolve away, right? So you want to picture this idea that you need to do something, that you have to do this thing, and dissolve it away. And then once it's gone, you replace it with what you want to think about instead. And if you don't want to think about anything, replace it with the word calm. Calm. Or use an affirmation that says, I am calm. I am calm right now. And you want to keep telling yourself this. And a very good thing you could do that really, really helps is to pretend. Pretend that you're relaxing. I know it sounds silly, but I promise you it works. So pretend. Just pretend that you're relaxed. And then take note of how you feel. And then when you start to not be relaxed again, pretend that you're relaxing again. It's just a simple mind trick. So that all of these techniques will help calm the mind and help you relax your body. The last thing that I'm going to tell you that you could do is that your body and your mind are super connected, right? They're not disconnected from one another. So anytime you have tension in your body in general, you know, that just shows that your mind isn't calm and you're not relaxed. So what you can do is manually release the tension. So do a body scan, and if start at your head or your feet and release tension as you scan your body. And it's as simple as setting an intention of like, I am now releasing this tension between my eyebrows, or I'm relaxing my jaw, or I'm relaxing the muscles in my back. Just continue to do that. It's going to take some work because you are so conditioned to being on the go, go, go that it's going to take some unraveling. But you can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And yeah, just try those out and let me know how they work for you. Okay. So moving on. Okay, let's see. We have Krystal. Hi, Krystal. All right. About how to mindfully observe our triggers without acting out subconsciously in our old thought process and reactions. Fight is usually my response. Okay. To begin to create new habits and stop the old ones that no longer serve us. Also about how to move through deep-rooted traumas and start healing one's inner child. Okay, so I'm going to back up and I'm going to go with the first question that you asked and clarify that. So, how to mindfully observe triggers without acting out subconsciously. Now, this is going to take some time because this is your programming. You're programmed to immediately react instead of pause and respond. So one of the best things that you can do when you notice that you're being triggered, pay attention to your body first and foremost, because your body is your signal to knowing that something emotionally is going on and something's not right. So use your body as the gauge to be able to monitor that you are starting to become triggered, right? And then when you notice that you're becoming triggered, then take a step back and pause before you react. And I know that it's not that easy, but you can totally do it. And don't beat yourself up for the times that you do end up reacting instead, because that will just like take you 10 steps back. What we're looking for is to move forward continuously. So when these triggers happen, what I want you to begin to try out is that you can, you take a step back and you pause. Take a few breaths and center yourself before making any decision, okay? And then look at the trigger. Look at the trigger and then ask yourself, what is the lesson in this trigger? What is the highest lesson in this trigger? What is this here to show me for my highest of good in my growth? Okay? And then when you can do that, then you can start to accept that part, okay? We want to integrate parts of us that we dislike, disown, and deny of ourselves, because they will, if we don't, it'll always be in that subconscious mind, and we're going to be projecting it out to the people around us, and they're going to be reflections back to us of the subconscious beliefs that we have, right? So when you mindfully observe these, this is how I would do it. Because I think a lot of the time when people think of mindfully observing, they think of detaching, and detaching to the point of going numb. This isn't what we want. We don't want to go numb. We fully want to feel our feelings and process our feelings. But in this case, I would do what I just had explained. That's what I would do. And then you had another question. Also about how to move through deep-rooted traumas and start healing one's inner child. Okay, so when it comes to trauma, there's a bunch of different ways that you could do this, right? But for me, and if you don't want to relive it, you could do it, you could find the emotion. You could find the emotion in your body that the trauma is triggering, right? So we store emotions in our body. And when we can figure out where we're feeling that emotion, and we know what it's tied to, right? We know that, we have this trauma with our, let's say with our mother or something, and what we can do is we can ask ourselves where that emotion is in the body. And then we can really tap in and say, okay, and then view it and be like, is this only inside of me, or is it outside of me as well? If it's outside of the body, or if it's in and out, okay, if it's outside of the body, that means that it's not only your trauma, this is passed down to you. And then if it is only inside of yourself, then it is your own trauma. But what you could do is you could dissolve. It's kind of an energy healing technique. You can picture that trauma, picture that emotion, that's stored in the body, which is a trauma, and watch it dissolve in white light. So that helps remove that. And cutting cords too, that's helpful as well. So another thing to think about when it comes to traumas is that in our projections on a day-to-day basis, when it comes to our triggers, again, this is another way that you can heal traumas, by when you're working through your triggers and you are finding that you're, triggered about certain things, it's because of a trauma. It's because of a trauma, right? So let's say that you don't feel good enough or something. Well, ask yourself, when's the first time that somebody's triggering you, you don't feel good enough, you ask yourself, when is the first time that I felt this way? And that'll give you a clue as to the trauma, the period of time when that happened, and then you can really make sense of it and find it in your body, and then start to dissolve that and heal it that way. So when it comes to trauma, there's a ton of different ways to heal it. Those are just some ways that I have used for myself. And then when it comes to inner child work, I'm not really a specialist in inner child work, so there's some things that I have done. I went back in timelines, through my imagination or my mind, it's the same thing, and comforted that child while they were experiencing these things that were happening when they didn't feel safe, or try to talk to them and see if they will come with you. So that's something that I have done. But again, I'm not a specialist in childhood trauma necessarily when it comes to healing the inner child, I guess I should say. But that does work. But there's tons and tons and tons of information on YouTube and Google. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful. Alrighty. Whoops. Okay. How to keep our vibrations higher? Well, this is a good question. Well, the very first thing that is required to keep your vibration high is to start your day off by setting the tone for your day, because the rest of your day is going to follow what you set for that morning. So let's think about this. If you wake up in the morning and you are in a rush and you have 1,000 thoughts going through your mind, you have all these things that you have to do, your vibration is going to drop. But if you do the opposite and you lay there and you figure out what your energy feels like that morning, and you really get in tune with what it is that you want to create, and you monitor your thoughts that are coming in. So let's say that thoughts are coming in that are low vibrational or that are pulling you down energetically, Dissolve those thoughts and replace them with something that you do want to create. That is the ultimate way to keep your vibration high. But there's tons of different ways. Do stuff that makes you laugh. Go out and spend time in nature. Go have fun and be a kid again. Spend time with people that you like to be around. Read a book, listen to music, go for a walk, go do some exercise, do a detox with high vibrational foods. Go pet a puppy. Like, there's a ton of different things you can do to raise your vibration, but in order to keep your vibration high, you've got to be conscious from moment to moment to moment on what you're allowing to be broadcasted through your mind. And it's a very difficult thing to do, but it's totally possible. And why it's difficult is because you're kind of teaching the body to be be someone that it's not used to being, right? So you're like addicted to these chemicals that are continuously being created in your body because your body is so used to them. But when you start undoing those, you're breaking energetic bonds and chemical bonds, and it's uncomfortable. Just like it's kind of like even when, you know, somebody stops smoking or drinking, their body is so used to that thing that it kind of has a withdrawal symptom. So that's why it's so tough when we're rewiring our brains, is because our bodies are literally kind of going through a withdrawal when it comes to when it comes to changing these thoughts, because the body's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? We've been thinking this way forever. I don't want to think that way, you know? So it just takes repetition. So I hope that was helpful. And it looks like I am at the very last question. And this question says, I'm struggling to truly connect with my kids. Oops, I gotta click this to see more. Okay. I'm struggling to truly connect with my kids as the household chores and endless organizing and running around after 4 kids constantly get in the way. I understand. Let me answer some of this. Oh, wait, hold on. It's like I can never stop or everything piles up on top of me. You sound overwhelmed. I'm suffering and I feel the relationship I have with my kids could be way better and more deep. With all this stress and responsibilities, I find I snap easily. And even though I could make better choices when it comes to my words and actions, it's like I'm a child again. And I just want the short burst of satisfaction to be angry. Maybe that's what maybe you're asking. Okay. Well, my heart goes out to you because I know how tough it is to take care of children and the house and to take care of all this stuff and to feel so overwhelmed with all the stuff that you have to do. First of all, I would look at your expectations of yourself. What are you expecting of yourself? Because you're only one person, you have to remember. You're one person. You have 4 children. It sounds like mom needs to take some time for herself. And here's what I found. I had the same fear. I was like, well, I can't just stop doing all this stuff because if I'm not always on the go, then everything's going to pile up like how you feel and it's all going to be a mess. But what I found is that is actually an illusion, because the more that you put yourself first, the more energy, or the more energy you have. But not only that, but things flow so much easier. Instead of feeling like you have all these things to do, put yourself first. It's about prioritizing. So if mom needs to put herself first so that she feels like she wants to connect with the kids, right? Because when you take care of your needs first, then you can give to somebody else. But if your needs are going last, if your needs are last in line, then you truly don't have much to give to somebody else. So take care of you first. It could be something so simple, so simple. And I keep mentioning this, but this is because this is what I do, is I take a bath and I light candles and tea light candles, and I put rose petals in the bathtub, and I just bring my salt lamp in there and I turn it on after the kids are sleeping, and I just relax and I take care of me first. And in the morning, even if you have to wake up just a few minutes earlier, if you go to bed calm, you wake up a lot calmer. But in the morning, set the tone for your day. Figure out what it is for you that is going to help your day run smoothly. When you think about the things that you have to do, it's like you're thinking of this endless chore list that's keeping you stuck. So when you can think about, well, what do you want to create today? It's about what you want in your soul. It's about what would fulfill you the most. Does doing all these chores fulfill your soul? Because if not, then you need to go with what fulfills you, what feels good, and everything else falls into place. So put mom first, then prioritize spending time with the children. Even if it's just to play a game, or if it's just to go for a walk, and the housework is still there. But what you're going to find is that instead of going and tackling all this housework first, you're taking care of your needs and your kids' needs first, and then the other stuff is so much easier to do. Okay? So cut yourself some slack. I can kind of feel in your post, you know, that you're feeling a little guilty, and I understand, but forgive yourself. Okay? You're doing the best that you can, all right? Or the best that you know how. It's a matter of putting yourself first, and then meeting your needs, and then meeting your children's needs, and then reaching out and doing all those chores. But not from a place of fear, not from a place of you have to get all this done or else, but from a place of I get to do this now. And I'm so much more in alignment now because now I've taken care of myself. So it just comes a lot more easy. Okay? All right. So, and the anger, that's just a sign that your boundaries are being crossed, and your boundaries are being crossed within yourself, right? You just have some things that are mixed up a little bit, right? So you got to put yourself first. That's where this really boils down to. Okay, put yourself first. You got this. You absolutely got this. And if you need any extra help, let me know. But try this out and see how that works for you. Okay. So guys, this is the end of the Q&A. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're not yet in the Spiritual Healing and Expansion Tribe and you have some questions that you would love to get answered, go ahead and join there. I will post a thread. I don't know if it'll be weekly or bi-weekly yet in the group, and I will answer your guys' questions from there. Okay? Have a beautiful day today, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.